All right, so we're back on to the trailer. So last week we put in an outlet right here. Works great. And the week before we put in a vent, and my wife has said how much cooler it already is inside of the trailer. So we're gonna add more vents. We have some ideas about some vents on top, but if you remember, I pretty much put solar panels the whole way on top. So we're gonna have to come up with a different idea on that. But what we're gonna do today is we're gonna add a vent in here. Now the vent in here is gonna be kind of specifically for the exhaust of the dehumidifier. So it's already kind of aiming down, and the vent I found is this guy. Now it's not terribly huge, but it will be open straight to the ground. I asked my wife if I should paint it the same color as that. She said, no, let's leave it like that for now. But I believe we do have more of that paint. So I understand that most of you are not going to need a floor vent in your trailer. But if you do need one, you'll see how one could be installed. This is sort of a heavy-duty cast aluminum. It's pretty stout, pretty nice. These open like that, so should be straight through. In the upcoming videos, I'm not sure if it's the next one, we might put a vent up here so that the hot air that's coming out actually has a place for it to go. So you can see how hot it is. The trailer is currently saying, you know, we're kind of sniffing at 100 almost. So what I'm going to do is, how am I going to get this in here? I'm going to center it up between the cabinet and the wall, and then probably between, I don't know if I'll do between the toilet and this, or if I'm going to make this a little bit more maybe lined up with the cabinet over. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do that, because I wanted to take advantage of where the air is blowing. Even though a lot of that air is hot and is going to not necessarily want to leave there, I'm thinking that it'll be handy. And then I'm not sure if it's called a siphoning or a Venturi effect, but if we get enough air kind of being pulled out of here, it might suck in cold air from there if it has a place for it to be pulled up from. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out exactly where I want it, and then I'm going to mark out where I have to cut with masking tape. And I'll probably pull out the toilet just so it's a little bit easier. I'm going to set up the masking tape pretty much where the vent is going to go, so it'll be kind of recessed in here. So we just set up the masking tape in there, and then we'll probably just drill out the four corners. And I've already made sure that there's nothing underneath. I'll send you underneath. So right here is a beam, but we're going to be over here. So that should work out fairly well. All right, got it all lined up. So I left about 1/4 of an inch around just so that it can drop in easily, and then I can still adjust it to make sure it's nice and square to everything. As you can see, there's plenty of room to hide however big you make this. So that's pretty good. So I'm going to drill a small hole on every corner, kind of space in a little bit from the corners. And then drill a bigger hole going all the way around, and then I'll follow it up with a jigsaw. All right, that escalated pretty quickly. I was wondering why the blades were kind of like smoking. We were drilling through a screw, and then we were a little bit too close to the frame over here, so whole lots of fun. The important part is we are winning. See how thick this floor is? This floor is not messing around. Yep. No, got that one. Let me see about. So here's blade number 1. not working out too well. Blade number 2 is already kind of smoked. So I think I got to go get blade number 3 to finish this. Unless blade number 1, ow, that's really hot, is okay. Throw that down there. Let's see, can you finish it? Well, look at you. You almost got it. Get you over a little bit more. Always a good time when you got sparks coming off your blade. So, let's see. Have we conquered? Oh, look at that now. Look at that. Doesn't quite have as much room as I was hoping, but let's hope we're straight. Oh, we are on the monies. Okay, well, guess we're doing pretty good. All right, so I think I'm gonna get all this cleaned up, sweep everything out. The other funny part was I had this plugged into the house and I think I blew a fuse when I was, so I just thought, I got a trailer with more power than it knows what to do with. So I just plugged it in here. And this thing hasn't even batted an eye. So, pretty cool. All right, so I'm gonna sweep all that out and hopefully hard mounting it in, and I'll show you how I'm gonna do that. All right, so I cleaned everything out and now we're on to mounting this. So these L brackets that I have, like, I don't know, 400 or 500 of, one of my neighbors at an old job was throwing them out. So I was like, yeah, I'll take them. Coming in handy again. So I'm gonna put them right there. So there's already a bolt right there. I'm gonna put it in right there and then probably bend these out flat, put it in, and then bend them up, and then probably just screw in. I don't think they need anything crazy, but just probably screw in something like that just to hold it, because you saw how thick those floors were. So something like that would be perfectly fine. So I'm gonna put them on there, and then I'll probably put some red Loctite just so they don't back out. But that's all I'm doing. You can bend these by hand. So you could probably make something similar out of sheet metal, but I'll try to put something similar in the description. All right, got everybody all screwed on. So you can see what my thought process is now. So these will just bend out straight, okay? And then we'll shove them through the hole and then bend them back out and then screw it in. So that should be pretty easy. So this did come with something. I'm not really sure what you're supposed to do with this. Maybe something like that. I don't know, but that wasn't going to really work for my very weird and custom application. So we're gonna have to go with this, but I countersunk these so that the screws fit in a little bit better, and then use red Loctite on them. So I think it's ready to install now. All right, hopefully we left enough room in here. Of course we did. Ha ha ha. So I think now I'm gonna make sure it's all nice and lined up, because as I'm bending and pushing stuff around on the bottom side, I could inadvertently shift this slightly. Doesn't seem like I've left myself a ton of room to play with here, but I'm hoping that it's still nice and square, which it does look like it's nice and square. Okay, so now that I think I got it right about where I want it, I'm going to use masking tape to hopefully keep it kind of where I need it, as I'm underneath this kind of messing everything up. This masking tape will add enough friction so that I don't move it while I'm down there. I do think if I needed to, those brackets, probably I'd be able to bend them into the right position. Let's go underneath and see what we got. All right, we're underneath. So we want to bend these without lifting it and shifting the whole thing. Something like that. Ooh, look at that. Isn't that fun? All right, that feels pretty stable. I think when we're running those water tests, this should definitely have some serious flow. Be able to close it, and hopefully as we're going down the road, we got a nice new noise to annoy everybody with, so really excited about that. All right, so I'm gonna get all this stuff off. I just threw a motorcycle battery on top, just keep some pressure on it. So I'm gonna pull this off and let's see if it's still the right dimensions. All right, so it looks good. It is on there. It is really, like I would say, really rock solid. Opens up, closes fine. We'll have to see if there's any noise as we're driving down the road. I'm gonna put the toilet back in. All right, we are back in. Everything is locked down. So this is what it'll look like when you're in there. I think it looks pretty sweet. Let me open it up. There we go. Even more dramatic now. I was going to show you guys this. This is the screw that I found as I was cutting this open. So that's pretty exciting. And we are on our way to venting more and more and more. So that's pretty cool. I think it looks pretty good. I still need to do a little bit of vacuuming right there. A little bit right there. A little bit in that corner. Is this where all the dust went? But I'm pretty excited about that. It does come off since I have not used the construction adhesive, so it would come off, so I could paint it the same color as that if I wanted to. It definitely has a very similar texture already. So that is possible, and maybe in the future. A lot of this stuff, I'm just getting it into place and then gonna live with it for a while to see how we actually like it. So we have a bunch of other projects coming. There will be some kind of vent up here. We're not sure if it's gonna be a passive vent or an actual fan vent. We do have a max air fan. We're not sure where we're gonna put that. Maybe you guys could help us out with that, because we have this fan right here. I never was really too happy with it. I mean, it wired it in, it does work, but it's just circulating the air that's already in here. So a crazy idea is the max air fan could theoretically, maybe possibly be shoehorned into here. So this is the bezel for it. If you look, it kind of just fits right here, but fun part is there's a beam, because that's screwed into the beam. So there is a beam right there. So we could go this way, because there's only mounting holes on two sides for this bezel. So that's possible. So we're just thinking about it because as the dehumidifier is pushing air in, it has a place to go in the bottom part of the trailer. We're gonna put at least a passive vent up there. And I don't know if we'll put something up here or not. So that's something to think about for sure. And if we could have this vent right here actively sucking out, so it may be depressurizing the bathroom. So right here, this is the bathroom. So the bathroom is not actually sealed at the top. So the hot air can blow out coming from the dehumidifier. So just like to thank you for watching, even though like this video might not have been that exciting, or who needs a floor vent in their trailer except for us. So it will get more exciting because we'll be putting in a max air fan, I think, somewhere. And then we'll be putting in 2 passive vents or 1 passive vent in the bathroom. We're going to figure that out. We're going to possibly put in a black water tank underneath just to see, or just to make it a little bit easier so we're not having to dump the pee all the time. So there is some stuff to look forward to in the trailer if you're looking forward to that. But if you have any ideas of how we can make the trailer just better for us as a family, put them down in the comments. But like, share, subscribe. See you next time.